Hey guys, Operator Drewski here, and today we're talking about the Blood Orchid DLC for Rainbow Six Siege. Now, if you guys are players of Siege as well, you would have known that we haven't really had many new operators since, I think, February. And that is because of Operation Health. Operation Health was a long period of time where Ubisoft was fixing things in the game, fixing bugs in the game. They redid the entire lighting of the game so that looking out of windows is much easier. Looking into windows is much easier now, which is a huge improvement to the game. They redid the entire matchmaking, which we got kind of the beginning of Operation Health. And they redid a lot of things. They changed a lot of things to make the game a little bit better. I think it was like overall, I would say a good 10% improvement, 20% improvement to the game's stability and the game's usability and bug-free ability, so that the game runs a little bit better and it feels a little bit better, and it's a lot less buggy now than it used to be. Other than Via getting stuck in a desk, that was weird. He got stuck in a desk, poor guy.
Over there so you can watch.
Ow.
They just turned me. Jamie in here.
Wait, guys, Via is inside of a desk. One second,
Yeah.
one second, stay still.
Get me out of it.
No, you can't get him out.
Break.
We can't get him out.
What was that about bugs?
You can't get out. There's no point. What are you gonna do if you do get out? Knife everyone? Because you just waste all of your ammo.
Drone coming away. Twitch drone. They got a Twitch.
I killed Twitch drone. Came out here somewhere.
Yeah, have a Twitch drone?
They might have another. I killed one.
They've got a Valk cam spotting us as well somewhere out here.
Wait, they're
Outside
coming in
that
front
door.
door. Front door.
We're attacking. Wait! No! We're on different games! What the fuck, dude?
Wait.
How the hell is that possible?
Wait, we're playing
We're
on
attacking
plane.
on
We're playing
plane.
on plane right now. What about you guys?
What the fuck is going on?
Are you guys playing on?
Why can't?
You guys aren't playing on plane,
Theme
aren't you?
park.
We're
I
playing
know,
on
we're
plane.
playing on. We're playing. What the fuck? We're
Yeah,
playing on the
this is a bug that happens where basically our VoIP chats are in different servers. We're playing like entirely different games, yet
Nice.
we're in the same voice chat.
Ubisoft cannot.
Awesome.
Ubisoft cannot do anything right.
Operation Health! It's complete! But just yesterday, I played this game for 7 hours because of the fact that Blood Orchid released. This comes with a new map and 3 new operators instead of 2, kind of making up for the lost time we had in Operation Health. And the 3 operators are some of the most interesting I think we've had in Siege, and because now it's not just 2 operators being brought into the mix, but 3, it's changing up the meta, I think, more than the meta has ever changed within one day beforehand. I mean, think of it, since February, the players of Rainbow Six Siege have been basically playing with the same exact operators. So if you've been playing the game actively nearly every day or every other day for that period of time, you are very, very accustomed to what tactics, what strategies both teams are going to be using on certain objectives, and therefore the game's meta and the game's gameplay and core firefight mechanics kind of get, yeah, I guess bland after a while. It's not that they get bad, it's just that you understand them. There aren't any more surprises. Although this game is very diverse, and that's what's interesting about it, is that any objective, there can be like 50 different ways you can attack it, basically. But even novice players might be able to realize, you know, oh, that's a certain operator, okay, this is how I need to attack them. But now, the game is extremely different, and that is thanks to the 3 new operators, Ying, Lesion, and Ella. Ying is the first operator we'll talk about today. She is an attacking operator, and she has the ability to throw these little spheres, these little balls, that basically are, I would say, cluster flashbang grenades. They basically will roll out from your hand under a doorway, through a window. You know, you can throw them, you can roll them, whatever you want to do. And once they're in the room, they have a timer, so you can actually set the timer to 1 second, 2 second, or 3 second delay. And once they roll into the room, they explode, and it doesn't actually like explode, but it pops out tons of small flashbangs. And Ying has these special, I would call them welding goggles. She has these little welding goggles basically that block the flashbang effect from her, so she can rush into a room as flashbangs are going off, blinding everybody in the room, and take out anybody that's blinded. And let me just say that when done correctly, this is an extremely powerful tool for getting into rooms. Now, this does get assisted by a Thatcher because there are lots of traps in the game now, so if you're just rushing into a room, you really need to make sure to not run into any of those traps. And that's why people like Thatcher, IQ, and Twitch are buffed now, because the 2 defensive operators are basically trap operators. They're not, you know, support operators. They're not assistants or kind of flanking operators. They are purely just trap operators. Lesion is the first one we'll talk about. He's got these little poison traps that he can throw over time. So at the start of the game, you actually don't even have only but one of these Lesion traps, and you can throw it, but then you have no more. But over, like, let's say 20 or 30 seconds time, you get another one. And throughout the entire game, as long as you stay alive, you will continue to get more and more and more traps. So Lesion is a really good kind of turtle, a really kind of anchor operator, because he can sit down the objective and over time just get tons and tons of Lesion traps out there on the ground. So the longer the attackers take, the more Lesion is powerful in this game. Now, these little poison traps, if an attacker walks over them, will kind of sting their leg, and it bites into their ankle, basically, and starts to poison them over time, draining their health. Now, they can actually hold the F button and reach down and grab this dart out, or like this little prick out of their leg, basically, to be able to pull it out, but that makes them have to put their gun down, have to look straight towards the ground, and if the Lesion exactly knows where his trap was and it gets triggered, he knows exactly where you are and that you're being hurt basically right now, and that also your vision's kind of messed up because there's the Lesion trap on your leg. So he's a very, very powerful operator when it comes to defense. I think he's one of the most powerful out of these 3, just because you can put all these little tiny traps everywhere and really slow down the enemy team. Now, Ella and her concussion traps are insane. These only come in packs of 4, so when you're Ella, you only have 4 of them, and I usually toss these on like objectives windows. So if the objective that we're defending has a window that goes to the outside of the building, I usually toss it on that window, because if a person hops in, it instantly concusses them. Their vision is probably put down to about 25% effectiveness. But also, if you're an attacker and you're hit by one of these grenades or one of these mines, your sensitivity is like limited. So you're super slow when trying to turn your gun around to hit somebody. And I've had people right beside me run into the room and try to spray me, but one of my concussion grenades hit them, and they literally could not even push their gun towards me any faster to be able to hit me. And I was able to just watch them as they were attempting to move their gun closer to my head. It's hilarious, and it's a really, really powerful kind of device to really keep those rushing attackers away from your objective. Now, these defensive operators are really interesting in ranked, especially because ranked is a lot faster. You have 1 minute less than you do in casual, and therefore the attacking team has to really think on their toes, be very, very quick about what they're doing, and whenever they also have to deal with traps around the entire objective area, it's quite tough. And so I feel like the average time for attackers to be able to win an objective is going to be longer this DLC. Like, yes, we have a lot of changes. Yes, we have Ying as the attacking operator who has the flashbang ability, but these 2 trap operators that are going to be played very, very highly this season just because they are the new operators are going to really slow down those attackers when going in any game mode. Now, IQ, Twitch, and Thatcher are also basically buffed as well because they're a lot more powerful against these people like Lesion and Ella. Let's say just an IQ can walk around and literally find any trap, no matter if it's invisible like Lesion's invisible, you know, little poison dart traps. She can also find Ella's concussion traps, and a Twitch driving around can probably easily see even the invisible Lesion traps and also some of Ella's traps. I've taken them out myself. I'm basically a Twitch main, and so I've found that playing as Twitch is a lot more efficient now, because now I don't just have to worry about cameras, Valkyrie cameras, bandit batteries, and mutes. I can worry also, or I can also assist my team by taking out some of Ella or Lesion's mines as well, and going down a hallway before my team even gets into the building and taking out all the traps in a hallway makes me feel a lot more confident, because then I can surprise the enemy by having my team run through that hallway when they thought that they had traps laid across the entire area. But yeah, I think that if you're a Siege player and you've been kind of on edge about buying this DLC or grabbing it, I think that it's pretty much worth it. I think that the 3 different operators are pretty interesting, and they change a lot about the game, and they're some of the more fun ones to play as well. I mean, you're playing Rook, you put an armor plate down, that's your job. Good job. You're exciting. But if you're Lesion, you're literally sitting there trying to think about like defending the objective, but also trying to think about where should I put my next mine that I'm going to regenerate in like 30 seconds. You know what I mean? So it's very, very interesting to play these new operators, and they've got a lot of new abilities, a lot of new guns, a lot of cool sounding guns as well, like the shotgun suppressed ones. Those are cool. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.